Welcome to this Epidemic Disease Act lecture. This will be your current affair topic. So in this lecture we will discuss that India is currently following an act to control a mob epidemics kind to mass epidemic situation with a law that was enacted long back, more than a century. It was enacted around 1897. So there is a need for changing those laws, or we have to overcome those old centuries back laws, because these laws doesn't contain any information regarding the quarantine or the things that we are seeing in the corona pandemic. So these things were not mentioned in the disease act, epidemic disease act of 1897, and plus the colonial laws were not sympathetic with the people, with the civilians. It was mostly in the favor of the officials, the government officials. It was not in the favor of the publics. So that's why we have to overcome that colonial rules made law, and we have to implement as per the modern era. So this Epidemic Act 1897 is a colonial era legislation that is still used as a primary law to control a mass epidemic, and this lecture aims to understand the existing scheme under the act, what is the limitations, judiciary scrutiny, and the need for new holistic law for the public health perspective. Okay, so what is this Epidemic Act 1897? So it was first enacted by this act, as normal with the year only we can guess. It was first enacted by the British, and in the state of Bombay during the bubonic plague. In that plague there was a swollen limbs and all those things used to happen. So lots of pain happened. So the plague is that it can be infected through any flies, any insects, any virus, any bacteria, and it can form as a pandemic kind of things, epidemic, mass epidemic. Okay, so at that time this law was enacted, and right now we are following that law only. So it is a state government act, this that Epidemic Disease Act, and the act strives to protect the common citizens in a particular area during the outbreak of an epidemic of a dangerous disease. So the colonial era Epidemic Disease Act consists of 4 sections and aims to provide for better prevention of the spread of dangerous epidemic disease. So this act was made for prevention during that colonial era, during that time. Just think, right now we are in 2020 and the act was made in 1897, so a century back, more than a century. So therefore 4 sections were made under this act. So for section 1 of the act describes the title and the extent of the act, till where this act will extend. Mostly it will be in the favor of the government officials. Then section 2 will empower the state government and the union territories to formulate regulations to contain the outbreak, to control those outbreak. But how to control that outbreak is not mentioned, is not explained. It is just mentioned that what regulations you have to do, but in what manner, how you have to deal with it, it was not mentioned. Section 3 provides penalties for disobeying any regulations made under the act, and the act provides for 6 month imprisonment of ₹1,000 fine or both on person disobeying the act. Okay, this is fine. Like if in this corona pandemic only the lockdown was imposed, but there were many people who were breaking this law, so in that case government have to take some strict action. In that case they can put them in a prison for 6 months, or they can put a fine for 1,000 fine or more than that. And section 4 deals with the legal protection to implement officers acting under the act. So there was some legal protection given for the implementation for the officer. So it is like that this legislation used as a primary law for enacting that control of mass pandemic, but there was not steps or the rules have been mentioned that how we have to do it, in what manner we have to do it. It was just like if someone's do like that, you can punish them, they have to follow these norms, but what norms, what actual norms they have to follow, what will be the condition in the pandemic situation. So most of the act favors the government officials only, not the publics. it was not made in the favor of the publics. Like there may be situation where unemployment will occur. If there is no food, then who will provide that food? Like right now the expenditure of the government is increasing. Government is providing foods for those people unemployment, and further they are providing through the Manrega and all, they are providing jobs to the unskilled laborers, and skilling is also going on. So this act does not tell about quarantine, vaccination, medical aspects and all. Okay, so that is the drawback of this Epidemic Disease Act. So what are the limitations of this Epidemic Disease Act? So just I have explained, same thing it will be here. So despite recent amendments, lots of amendments have been done, but the act has major limitations in the era of changing dynamics in public health emergency management. Like right now government does not have a hospitals, so during that emergency what they have done, they have used schools and colleges at their as their quarantine center, as their hospitals. Further they have used trains, bogies, train coaches as their hospitals. So these things should be mentioned as a modern control like Epidemic Disease Act, because this is a management that is changing. That is, the dynamics of this world have been changed. The population of this world has also been changed. So as per that we have to amend, or we have to come up with a new act, so that major future coming pandemics we should be able to control over it. But this corona only we have taught so many lessons. So the communicable disease and their spread have changed over the years, and it is not in consonance with the changing requirement of modern day epidemic prevention and control. Same thing, that it has to be allied with the modern day requirement, and it fails to define a dangerous epidemic disease. It does not define what is the epidemic disease and what kind of dangerous epidemic disease. Right now like we are facing that corona is like it will come under dangerous epidemic disease. Whole globe has been affected, globally it has been affected, all countries have been affected, so that kind of will be considered as a dangerous epidemic disease. And further if the studies is going on, so some countries are facing less death ratio with the corona pandemic, and some countries are facing high death ratios. So what is the situation between it? So why these things are happening, we have to see all those aspects too. And there is no clarity on the regions is given that need to be applied in declaring a disease as a dangerous or epidemic. So there must be a boundary defined, like on what basis and what manner we can define a disease, something called as a dangerous and something else as an epidemic. It contains no provisions on the dissemination of drugs, vaccines, quarantine measures to be taken, in what manner the drugs can be disseminated, in what manner the dead body should be burnt, or the soil, in what manner the dead body should be treated. So those things should be mentioned in this act. It focuses on the government power during an epidemic, but does not specify its duties on controlling, preventing an epidemic. Like what are the focuses on the government power, it is telling, but it is not telling what is your duty towards the public and the citizen. It does not enunciate any rights available to the city in the event of outbreak. Okay, the people will be quarantined, let us suppose, but whatever the rights will be available to the people at that time. So these things should be required. So it is to be noted that the Epidemic Disease Act does not provide for procedural guarantee against any abuse of state power regarding privacy infringement, and it is merely regulatory in nature and lacks a scientific approach to the tackle epidemic like COVID-19. So we need like scientific approach to tackle all those kind of pandemic. So it should not be like that, okay, if the pandemic is there, just lock those people in their room. No, it should not be like that. It should be scientifically approached. Like if a local area is there, if the 10 people are affected, then 10 people can affect more people, so then this 10 can increase into 100. So what should we do? What is the probability of getting affected? What is the probability of this disease converting into a pandemic? So these things should be calculated, and these measures should be mentioned as these modern things. So it is also a silent on ethical aspects of human right principle which deserves to be protected even during an epidemic outbreak. Like there should be ethicality with the human disease. Like if some person is suffering from a particular disease like corona only, So we should not neglect that person, we should not treat like that person that he is not human. Yeah, it is required, we have to maintain quarantine, we have to maintain distance, but humanity should be there. And what measures should be taken? These things should be mentioned in the Epidemic Disease Act. So these are the lack behind, these are the drawbacks, that is the limitations present in the Epidemic Disease Act. So moving ahead, what needs to be done? So there have been attempts by the government to bring an adequate legal framework for providing essential public health services and to better handle outbreak of epidemic communicable disease. So government is coming with adequate legal framework right now after this pandemic disease only. Around 2017 also there have been some changes made in this law. So yeah, this same thing is mentioned. Recently the government introduced a public health prevention, control and management of epidemics, bioterrorism and disaster bill 2017 with an aim to fill lacunae in the archaic Epidemic Disease Act and was expected to replace it, but still it has to be get implemented. And bioterrorism, like that virus supplied or a virus thrown on a particular country as a bioterrorism, that kind of things can be seen. So that has been made also. The government has taken that law or the made an act with the taking care of those things, epidemic, bioterrorism and disaster. This bill, the bill clearly defines the epidemic, outbreak, bioterrorism and the public health emergency, this one, and it envisions measures like social distancing, quarantine, isolation, diagnosis and guidelines for treatment instead of segregation and detention of people under the Act of 1897. So these things are mentioned, has been measures like I mentioned, like social distancing should be there, quarantine should be there, isolation, diagnosis, what the medical aspects should be followed. So those things are mentioned and more research should be done to be mentioned in that sheet. Okay, to enumerate various diseases falling in the category of pandemic, epidemic prone disease and also contemns a public health emergency of international concerns like the present coronavirus outbreak. So we have to think with the international aspects also, because see, from one reasons of the China only, one city from the China, it has been spread to whole world. Okay, so we have to take care with the aspect that health emergency has to be declared for the international, or we have to take preventive measures for a particular small state only. So if you see that Kerala has done a very good job in this next slide when the pandemic was exploded in that region, and it does not allowed any state that virus to escape from that state, and the other states was managed. They did not get that infected with that disease. Okay, so what should a modern law focus on? I will pause this video here, I am getting one call, after this I will attend. Okay, so sorry for this small glitch. So what should a modern law focus on as the issues that we are facing? So what the laws, this modern law we have should focus on, because all these laws have been made during the colonial time only. Okay, so the modern law should be like that the constitutional principles and fundamental rights of the human being should be taken care, and because in the colonial era it was not taken care, as the laws made during that era will not include any of these, like fundamental rights were not there, basic human rights were not there, principles of that not there. It was only because they were taking care of their officials, they are taking care for the government officials and the workers. Okay, so it is just giving more and more powers to the officers. So whatever the laws were enacted at the time by the colonial, in the colonial era, it was like that, giving power to the officers. So and further, like if you are not following it, the penalty will be imposed on those people who are not allowing these officers to carry out their duty. So the law is completely about regulation and the facilitation. Okay, it does not focus about the human rights, it is not taken care with the perspective of the people. Okay, so the focus of the act in the government powers, state and union territory. So they were silent on ethical aspects and the human right principle, ignoring old people and focusing on the youngsters only. They were they knew that these old people is going to die in some day, so they were taking care for the young people only, because they are the people who are who will work for them. Okay, so that's what they were focusing on, the youngsters. So the preparedness related to the planning, coordination, communication, surveillance and rights of citizens during public health emergency must be addressed right now, as this modern law should be made like this modern era. And the district based surveillance program like in Kerala are the classic example of successful private sector participation in health preparedness, especially and monitoring in the surveillance. So when the Nipah virus came, in the Nipah virus, the condition was that Kerala worked very great, like very good, other than any developed countries also. What they have done, they followed the map routing, that if they like, if any person is coming from a particular place A and it has found that it has been infected from the Nipah virus, so what will happen, they will ask from which place they have been roamed in the last few days, and after that they will draw a map, and they will check all those people who have been came contact with that person. Okay, so that kind of level work was done by the Kerala, and it was much appreciated. So the district based surveillance programs run in Kerala are the classic example. Settings up a public health regulatory authority that has laid down a standard uniformity and coordination measures during an epidemic outbreak is also required. The authority may be entrusted with planning a comprehensive lockdown strategy. Like we have a strategy of lockdown, it should be like that. Okay, food should be supplied, their supplement amount of food should be there. If any medical requirement is there and the vehicles are not operating, so in that case police should be able to supply medicines or the any calls of medicines and all, we should be done and in an emergency manner. Okay, so that kind of planning is required in that lockdown strategy. Maintaining supply chain should be continued, ensuring essential services, relief and support to those in distress with its own dedicated cadre of personnel on the lines of National Disaster Response or NDRF. On the line of NDRF, the NDRF is follow this convention, so these things should be followed. The new act must be contemplate adequate autonomy to the states to design and enforce responses as per the local assessment and magnitude of the outbreak. And effective micro level management at the district, block and panchayat level is needed. Okay, in the urban sector, in the metropolitan city, yes, there is a facility, but what will happen in the villages don't have any communication sector is also not good in the villages. So in that case also we have to consider for them. Okay, we have to consider for them. So that is required. It must ensure that proportionality and reasonableness in the state response, whether it is quarantine, isolation, surveillance or a data collection. Okay, these steps are required of the modern law. So overall, if you say, it should be like that, we have to take care of the people from the ground level, from the low levels, from the gram panchayats, from the villages, from the districts. It should be like that. And proper planning should be there. If the lockdown is going to happen, then what measures we have to follow. So these things needed to be taken care. These things should have been formalized in this modern law. So what is this conclusion? We find that, so instead of relying on the colonial era laws, ensuring using brute force is an enforcement quarantine lockdown measures and resorting to provision like section 144 Code of Criminal Procedure Act, a new law is required to address this lacuna of the existing structure. So it is clearly telling that we should not be reliable on this colonial era law, that is just a brute force attack, like randomly doing checkings and all, and if they found anything good, then they will address the disease, otherwise won't, the address will not be done. It means that just in simple terms, lack of organization. So it is time to repeal this colonial law and replace it with a more comprehensive, modern and ethical, robust law which focuses on the right-based republic health oriented approach. So the key to focus, that I have just given an example of the Nipah virus, same thing is mentioned here, that Kerala succeeded with the Nipah virus. Why? They made a route mapping system from panchayat level to the higher authority. They engaged healthy workers. Even the private sectors were involved. Okay, so when the virus attacks, fluid started to lose, and immediately doctors were given their required medicines and fluid. So they asked the patient from where the patient is coming and draw the route mapping of the person, and immediately they took the required action on the location told by the patient. Okay, let me pause it, there is some electricity issue. So public health regulatory authorities require district based surveillance programs in Kerala. Autonomy in states is required, like state should be able to work it independently. In the corona times also it has been said that states were given some autonomous on the doing act, because each state have their own requirement and on that basis they have to perform the work. So grassroots level participation required from all three levels: NGOs, civil societies, volunteers, and also all the volunteers should be required who is volunteering in the safe place. That safety kit should be there with them. So all these things are required. So these are common things that we have to take care. And further, the citizens is also the responsible for the spread of any pandemic, so they should be responsible, they should take responsibility of it. If the government is telling that it is a lockdown, then you should follow that norms, you should follow those all the steps that is telling by the, that is explained by the government. That is, you should not go against the government in that pandemic or the emergency situation. So the same thing is mentioned that further citizens duty is required, follow the government guidelines. Okay, so I hope you have liked this video. Please like and subscribe. Your subscription is a form of payment for me. If you have any subscription or doubt, or if you want any on-demand video lecture, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle. The link is given in the description. Thank you.